Hello, I am Stephen Ang and welcome to Honest Reviews. And I'm going to do a review that most YouTubers don't seem to be reviewing. And that would be Pinocchio 2020 or 19. And the actor that played Geppetto in this was, I believe, the writer and director of Life is Beautiful. And that was a wonderful movie. But let's get on to Pinocchio. Of course, the Disney version of Pinocchio was wonderful. This version, I wanted to like it. The best thing about it was the special effects. But there were many problems. One, the Pinocchio, I don't know if it was the actor or just the portrayal of the character. He was a complete asshole. He never looked for Geppetto, his father. When his father went to look for him, never bothered to look for him. He even at one point threw a hammer at Jiminy Cricket and threw a hammer and hit him in the face and made him cry. The Pinocchio in this is not like a boy trying to... This is completely different. And I wish they did a better job with this. I think the way it was handled, cinematographically, it was beautiful. The special effects were beautiful. But Geppetto was in this for like 5 minutes. And there are things that are missing and other things that don't make sense. And I'll explain. So, one, when there's a scene where Pinocchio meets Stromboni, and he has all these other puppets. And in the Disney version, of course, they're all puppets. In this one, all the other puppets are real, just like Pinocchio, which makes Pinocchio ununique. Oh shit. Well, we're gonna do the review just like this. Which makes Pinocchio ununique. And Stromboni is trying to cook a meal and is about to sacrifice Pinocchio to make the fire bigger so he can cook his meal. And Pinocchio talks about how he loves his father and he doesn't want to die. So he's gonna sacrifice this other puppet. And Pinocchio says, no, don't sacrifice him. And all of a sudden, he changes his mind and gives Pinocchio money, like 5 coins. So all of a sudden, he goes from evil to good for no fucking reason. No reason. And there's so many characters that are like, you know, one of the judges is a monkey, and there's a snail, and there's a cat, but the fox and the cat are just normal people. And I was thinking, why the hell didn't they just make these characters a cat and a fox? But Pinocchio's a idiot, and he falls for their bullshit twice. They say, bury your coins and a golden tree will come up and sprout 1,000 more golden coins for your poor Geppetto. And Pinocchio falls for it, of course. And then they hang him. They're hanging him by a tree. And this cat comes out of nowhere and brings him to this building that has a friendly caterpillar and I guess the fairy princess, and all the characters come in, like the little cricket, and he's still mean to him, and the cricket is like giving him good advice. Like, at least in the original, it felt like, Pinocchio was a good boy, he was just misguided. This one, it's like Pinocchio's just a prick. Like, he's a little prick, and you wouldn't mind him burning in the fire because he's a little prick. He won't listen to Jiminy Cricket. He won't listen to him. And so all of a sudden they hang Pinocchio, and then a cat saves him, and he goes back out, and it's just like they just seem like they just half-assed everything. And then he meets this little boy who, if you remember in the original, is Lampwink, but it's not Lampwink. And Pinocchio follows him around like he doesn't have a mind of his own, and goes to a park, which they turn into donkeys, and they don't explain, like, all of a sudden they just become donkeys. Like, there was no explanation. They're just donkeys all of a sudden. And they him and the supposed Lampwink come out, and we have ears. And so, part of the movie, Pinocchio is a donkey. And then they, the guy, that runs the place, what the hell his name is, I can't remember. And he throws Pinocchio he grabs a rope and ties it around a rock and throws him under the ocean. And these fish come out of nowhere and circle around Pinocchio, and all of a sudden Pinocchio becomes normal again. So they didn't even bother to explain how Pinocchio became a donkey. In the other one with Tyler Taylor Thomas, it was the water. It was the water when they drank turned him. This one has no explanation, and it had no explanation why those fucking fish, if the blue fairy came, whatever, just the fish came and fucking turned him back into Pinocchio. And then Pinocchio goes to look for his father, passes out on the beach, and then goes back to have fun with the fucking snail. And it's like, fuck Geppetto, I guess. The whole thing I would think would be like, is about him finding his father, and it's not. It's about he's just like, fuck Geppetto. Even in the beginning of the film, as soon as Geppetto made his legs, he just jets. Bye, Geppetto, and just jets. And then he comes back, and then, Pinocchio burns his legs off by sticking his legs in the wood, the fireplace, and falling asleep. And then Geppetto fixes his legs, and then he's supposed to go to school. He goes to school, and then he goes to do the puppet show, which he gets in trouble. It's like Pinocchio didn't even give a shit about his father in this movie. Like, it's so dragged out. And the most part I was waiting for was Monstro. Monstro's in it for like 2 fucking seconds. Like 2 seconds. The CGI was cool. But I'm just like, this is supposed to be a movie about a boy that's trying to be good. And this whole time, Pinocchio is just being a prick. Where you actually wouldn't mind him being burnt in the fire. And if you're going to remake this movie, make it good. They don't explain things. Why the fuck were there other puppets that were alive? That completely makes Pinocchio not special. And even though this wasn't the Disney version that we saw, it was just another version that just didn't need to be fucking told. And the Geppetto who did Life is Beautiful, is a phenomenal actor, and they didn't use him in this. He was barely in this. And they used this little prick that I don't know if he was just a little prick in life or he was a little, just how they made him, but he was a little prick. This movie just was very disappointing. There are many things cool about it, like special effects. It was practical. And I liked it like halfway through half an hour, but after that it was just boring and dragged out, and it was just like you stop feeling for Pinocchio and he stops looking for his father, and I'm like, okay, so I guess fuck Geppetto. I'm Stephen Ang. If you decide to watch this movie, I hope you enjoy, but I gave it a 4 out of 10.